Good morning. Namaste. Man, I just want to shout out to Jasper right now. You know, I've been on many family vacations down there, and it's absolutely so sad what is happening. Shout out to Jasper and all the residents. May you be safe, and may we come together as a Western Canada or as a nation and help prepare the devastation with the fires. So today's topic is sacrifice. What is a sacrifice? You know, it says that God gave his only son as a sacrifice. Some people are getting pulled in directions and they're struggling with understanding why. So, let's say you've been redeemed and you're facing a lot of adversities. Okay, what do you mean redeemed, Emily? That sounds very biblical. All that means is that your isolation is preparing you for your triumph. Your isolation is directing you to who you must be and who you must be with and how you must be in the collective. And sometimes we can push away people because we don't think we're lovable. And I think that's been my biggest lesson lately, especially with my grandma staying with me. You know, I grew up very close to my grandma. You know, she was more like a mother figure to me in the nurturing side. My mom's very business, very rock and roll, let's go. She wears the pants in the relationship, you know what I mean? You go, girl. But my grandma's very nurturing. She's very motherly. And her motherly instincts come from a lot of how she was raised too, right? Like, we get our parental instincts by our parents. So how we parent is how we were parented. And I'm seeing that today, you know, like, as I've been really going on a self-healing journey and like really learning how to parent, learning how to be Emily, learning how to be an individual, learning to be authentic, learning to release my hurt, right? Like some of us, we don't have that type of counsel. We didn't have that type of direction. We didn't have that type of someone to look up to learn how to live. So what does that mean? So for me, as I was saying about my grandma, that she's been visiting now. She goes home Sunday, but she's been visiting now for almost a month. And man, I've been rejecting her love. I've been rejecting her presence. And I'm just like, why? You know, like, I'm always on flight. I'm always moving. I'm always decoding. I'm always deflecting. And as a result, you know, like, not only does it affect me, but it affects the relationships around me. So, like, how have you withdrawn from your family? How have you withdrawn from your networks? What is this teaching you? What has it taught me is, man, I'm mean. I'm mean to me, no one else. My ignorance of lack of acceptance of what is available to me in terms of nourishment, in terms of affection. And so I had to assess my side of the street in a lot of my current relationships. Why am I rejecting? And a lot of people are going to be getting aha moments. A lot of people are going to wake up to the idea that we are the victims. It's how our minds have perceived our life to date that has made us this victim. It's the relationships that we've carried to date. Victimization isn't always, you know, in the present moment. If we get back to the present moment and we sit with self and we look forward and we move towards a vision of ourselves. We move towards who we are on an authentic level. And And a lot of times we can get trapped in our life circumstances to date, the choices that we've made, or the people that we've let in and got burnt, or the lessons that we didn't learn, and as a result that we didn't learn them, we're scared to even embrace them. And I feel that when we really start healing and when we really start taking an honest look at ourselves, we can then determine why we are the way we are and why we have the people in our lives that we have. And you can be born into a family, but it could not work out. I've been rejecting my mother for a very long time, and it is what it is, But my grandma, I don't know why I've been rejecting her, and I had to really sit and take an honest look at myself, right? My mom, I get it. If someone doesn't want to sit down and have an honest conversation, I'd be like, man, I'm sorry, I was such a fucking idiot. How can I make it better? I'm sorry for ignoring your hurt out of my hurt and accepting what the fuck I did. There's so much power in owning our faults. Because when we can own our faults, we can then learn. So my grandma leaves Sunday, and it really, really dawned on me how much I've closed off with her. And I just think it was just another avenue of protection. It was another avenue. Okay, well, if I just fucking isolate and read and rabbit hole and learn, I'll be safe. But then how am I safe if I can't even accept this reality? Where is my balance? Where is my balance within being a fucking human being and then disassociating? Disassociating is my fucking superpower. I'd rather be in meditation mode all day than to deal with anything in my environment. And I think when you start doing a lot of healing and you start waking up on a spiritual level, it's our part that is the most important. It isn't our trauma. It isn't our current relationships. It isn't our current situation. It's how we perceive it and how we move forward. And I just feel like a lot of people are really traumed out right now. And we are just realizing the freedom in owning our part and standing firm in our conviction to why we feel this way. Your feelings are fucking valid. And if somebody's told you that they're not, and if that has fueled your fire to reject and to isolate, so be it. But then there comes a place to, why is this affecting me to this degree, and how do I release it? And how do I release it so then I can move forward and try again? Learning to trust and learning to love without restriction and without fear is my journey right now. And man, my grandma's just really old and she's really particular and she likes to nitpick. So that's a huge reason why I kind of I don't isolate, but I have been very distant from her whole trip. It's just I freeze. It's I don't want to feel you. You're not going to be here long, in a sense in Canada, I find so much comfort in staying in my own lane. I find so much comfort, and I need to fix that.